What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Huang, and today I'm joined by our journalists, Das, Wikai, Ishan, and Martin. Our podcast today, we're going to talk about food security in Singapore. So, before we start, let's do a quick round, guys. When you hear food security in Singapore, what's the first thing that comes to your guys' mind?
Imports.
Dependence on other countries,
Limited farming.
and also high risk if supplies get disturbed.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. How issues like Singapore's lack of land, rising costs, and lack of awareness impacts its food security and agriculture, and what ordinary residents like us can do to potentially mitigate those issues. And let me put this out there. Singapore feels like a place where food is everywhere, right? But how real is that sense of security? Ishan, can you explain why Singapore struggles to produce its own food?
It mainly comes down to land. Singapore only has about 735 square kilometers, and most of that land is already used for housing, transport industries, reservoirs, and military needs.
So what does that lead to?
Heavy reliance on imports. According to Singapore's food agency, over 90% of our food is imported.
All right, so if imports actually make up most of our food, how risky is that actually? Anyone got an idea?
Yeah, we saw it during COVID-19. Some countries restricted export, and that led to shipping being delayed and food prices going up.
So even if we have money, we can't guarantee the supply.
Exactly. Money doesn't help if the food simply isn't available.
All right, let's zoom out a bit. Why does this actually matter for Singapore's national development? Das?
If food prices rise suddenly, the cost of living goes up, and that affects workers, families, businesses, and can slow down economic growth.
So it's not just about food, it affects productivity and also investment.
Exactly. A stable food supply supports a stable economy.
It's also about resilience. A country that can't secure basic needs during crises become vulnerable.
All right, so where do citizens come in? Like, what can they actually do?
One option is HDB and community gardening, where residents grow vegetables in shed spaces like rooftops or areas below flats. It doesn't need much land, but it helps with increased local food production and awareness programs. Programs like Community in Bloom also encourage people to get involved, bringing both environmental and social benefits.
Sounds good. Anything else they can do?
Doing small things like supporting local produce over imported ones, even though it may cost more, increase demand for local sources of food. This keeps local farms running despite land constraints and high expenses. The government set out the 30 by 30 goal where they want us to be able to produce 30% of our produce locally by 2030. So I think even by just being aware and purchasing more local goods, we are helping to reach that goal.
All right, so we've talked about growing food in shared places and supporting local farms. But what if someone's thinking, I want to grow food, but I literally have no idea how?
This is where gardening workshops come in, right? Communities can organize or join workshops that teach people how to grow food in small spaces like window ledges or balconies. These sessions also help teach people how to save food, reduce waste, and also understand why food security matters. For example, programs like home gardening masterclasses by Gardens with Purpose help let experienced gardeners mentor beginners and teach practical skills like soil management, vertical planning, and also avoid crop waste.
Oh, so it's not just about growing the food, but it's also about growing it smarter.
Well, you get the point. With Singapore's land constraints, efficiency is key. Those workshops make it easier for first-time gardeners and help people maximize their yield without the need for extra land. Furthermore, you don't need a whole estate to start. Individuals can join, learn the skills, and apply them at home and in small spaces or share them with others.
Yeah, that's a good point. But of course, all of this sounds good in theory. So, Ishan, what are some challenges that make it hard for citizens to play their part?
One big challenge is time. Many Singaporeans are busy, so it's hard to maintain gardens or join workshops. Gardening needs consistent effort to succeed. Another issue is cost, as higher local food prices can discourage lower-income families from buying them.
Right, so even if people actually support the idea, actually this can be difficult. All right, folks, so today's podcast is nearing its end, so let's wrap things up nicely. We've been discussing about how Singapore's lack of land limits how much food we can grow locally, which forces us to heavily rely on imports. That creates risk, especially during global disruption.
Even though citizens can't solve these problems, small actions like HDB gardening, supporting local produce, and being more aware, and having home gardening workshops can all help reduce risks, increase self-sufficiency, and support national goals like the 30 by 31.
All right, to conclude, I'd like to say food security isn't just a government issue. It's a shared responsibility, and sometimes the future of Singapore starts right at our homes, at our balconies and communities. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.